I
My
think
name
this
is
is what
Daniel
we both
Carter,
needed.
and most people think I'm
A
the
chance
lucky
to
husband.
finally understand each
Daniel,
other.
smile? Isabella whispers as cameras flash in our faces. You look too serious. I am smiling, I say, forcing one. Tonight is our company's 5th anniversary. Glass walls, golden lights, city skyline behind us. Everyone is here. Investors, board members, employees who joined after the hard years. They see her. They always see her. Isabella Carter, CEO. Visionary. Media darling. They don't see me. Victor Lang steps onto the stage beside her. He adjusts his tie and grins at the crowd. 5 years ago, this company was just an idea, he says. And today it's worth $500 million. Applause fills the room. I sip my drink and watch Isabella glow under the lights. I remember the tiny apartment where I wrote the first lines of code. I remember sleeping on the couch while servers ran beside me. I remember building the funding deck that convinced our first investor. I built the core system. I wrote the algorithm that powers everything we sell. I structured the funding strategy that kept us alive. But I never needed applause. I only needed her. Isabella takes the mic. I want to thank our incredible board, she says. Victor, for your brilliant financial leadership. Olivia, for being the backbone of this office. And of course, our amazing investors. More applause. Oh wait. She doesn't say my name. My chest tightens, but I keep my face calm. Victor claps loudly beside her. Olivia smiles near the stage, tablet in hand, eyes always on Isabella. Marcus would have laughed at this. Marcus Reed. My best friend. My co-founder. He left 3 years ago after one too many fights about control. You're giving away too much power, he told me back then. I trust her, I said. The applause fades. Music starts again. People move toward the bar. Victor walks over to me with 2 glasses. Daniel, you should be proud, he says smoothly. Your wife is unstoppable. Our company, I correct him. He smiles, but it doesn't reach his eyes. Of course, our company. Olivia joins us. Mrs. Carter needs you for photos, she tells me politely. Mrs. Carter? I repeat. Olivia hesitates. Isabella. I nod. Tell her I'll be there. When Olivia leaves, Victor leans closer. You've been quiet lately, he says. Stepping back suits you. I'm still Chief Strategy Officer. For now, he says lightly, then walks away. I feel something cold slide into my stomach. Later, when the crowd thins, I find Isabella near the balcony. The city lights reflect in her eyes. You were amazing up there, I tell her. I know, she says with a small smile. The investors loved it. Wait a second. You forgot someone? Her expression changes slightly. What do you mean? You thanked everyone. Daniel. You didn't thank me. She exhales, almost annoyed. Don't make this about you. The words hit harder than I expect. I'm not making it about me, I say quietly. I just thought. You thought what? She snaps softly. That this is still our little garage project? This is a corporation now. Image matters. I built the system that runs it. And I built the empire around it, she fires back. Do you think code alone makes a company? I stare at her. Is that what you think I am? Just code. She looks away toward the skyline. You're overreacting. Am I? Yes. She folds her arms. You're good at building things, Daniel. But I'm the one who knows how to win. Silence stretches between us. I search her face for the girl who sat on the floor with me at 2 a.m., eating instant noodles while we dreamed about changing the world. I always believed in you, I say. And I appreciate that, she replies, her tone softer but distant. But leadership isn't about who writes the rules. It's about who plays the game better. I never saw it as a game. That's the difference between us. Her phone buzzes. She checks it. Victor needs me. Of course he does. She steps back toward the party. Try to enjoy the night, she says. I watch her walk away. People part for her like she's royalty. I feel invisible. For 5 years I stayed in the shadows because I loved her. I let her take the spotlight. I thought that was partnership. But tonight something feels different. Victor laughs loudly near the bar. Olivia rushes to Isabella with another update. The board members surround her like she's already untouchable. And for the first time, I wonder if I built a throne I'm no longer allowed to sit beside. I look at my reflection in the glass. Don't make this about you, I whisper to myself. Maybe she's right. Or maybe I've been silent for too long. As the music swells and applause rises again for something she says, I feel a shift inside me. Quiet. Small. But dangerous. I used to know my wife's schedule better than my own. Now I learn about her meetings from Olivia. Daniel, the CEO, is in a strategy session. Olivia tells me when I walk toward Isabella's office. The CEO? I ask. She gives me a tight smile. She asked not to be disturbed. I'm her husband. I understand, she says softly. But she was clear. I nod and step back. I tell myself it's just pressure. Growth brings change. Change brings distance. Still, something feels wrong. That night, Isabella comes home past midnight. You're still awake? She asks, slipping off her heels. I was waiting. You shouldn't, she replies. Big investors from Singapore. It ran late. With Victor? Yes, with Victor, she says, dropping her bag. He's the CFO. That's normal. I didn't say it wasn't. She studies me. Then what are you saying? I'm saying you don't tell me anything anymore. She walks to the kitchen. Because every time I do, you turn it into a personal issue. I turn it into a personal issue? I repeat. Daniel, the company is expanding. We need aggressive moves. You still think like we're fighting to survive. We are, I say quietly. Just in a different way. She shakes her head. You don't understand how power works. There it is again. Power. The next morning, I sit in the executive meeting room. Victor stands near the screen, presenting new projections. We need faster pivots, he says. Daniel focuses too much on technical stability. We need vision. I look at him. Stability is why our clients trust us. He smiles. And vision is why investors fund us. Isabella doesn't look at me. Victor has a point. So do I say. Daniel, she replies calmly, sometimes you get lost in details. Details built this company. Details don't make headlines, Victor adds. The board members murmur. I lean back in my chair. What exactly are you proposing? Victor clicks to the next slide. We restructure departments. Strategy reports directly to the CEO. Less friction. Faster decisions. Meaning I lose independent authority, I say. Meaning, Isabella cuts in, we streamline. By sidelining me? By evolving, she snaps. The room goes quiet. After the meeting, Marcus calls me. I heard rumors, he says. You okay? Define okay. They're pushing you out of decision-making. I still have my title. For now, he replies. You sound like Victor. I sound like someone who left because I saw this coming. I rub my forehead. You think she's trying to replace me? I think she's scared, Marcus says. And scared people grab control. That night, I return to the office to grab some files. The lights are dim. Isabella's office door is slightly open. I hear Victor's voice. If he finds out, everything collapses. My heart pounds. Isabella answers, low and tense. He won't. You're sure? He trusts me. Silence. I step back before they notice me. My hands are shaking. Find out what? The next day, I confront her in our bedroom. I was at the office last night. And, she asks, I heard you and Victor talking. She freezes for a second. About what? You tell me. She looks away. You're being paranoid. Am I? I step closer. What will I find out? She laughs softly, but it sounds forced. Daniel, not everything is about you. Then why did he say everything collapses if I find out? Her eyes harden. Because you overreact. Like now. So there is something. There's always something in business, she says sharply. Deals. Risks. Negotiations. Are you negotiating me? She goes silent. That silence hurts more than any answer. I'm your husband, I say. And I'm your CO, she replies. The words land like a slap. I never saw you as my CO, I whisper. Well, maybe you should start. I stare at her, searching for the woman I married. Are we partners? I ask. In life, she says. In business we have roles. And my role is what? Background support. She sighs. Your role is to build. Let me handle the rest. And if I don't agree? She looks straight into my eyes. Then you're standing in the way. Standing in the way. That night I sit alone in my office. I open the original system files. Lines of code I wrote 5 years ago glow on the screen. I remember our promise. No secrets, she once told me. Now I feel surrounded by them. My phone buzzes. A message from an unknown number. Be careful who you trust. No name. No explanation. I look at Isabella's closed office door across the hall. For the first time, I don't feel like her partner. I feel like a liability. and the crack in the glass between us just got deeper. I don't sleep. By morning, I'm already in my office, staring at numbers that blur together. There's a knock. Come in, I say. Olivia steps inside and closes the door carefully behind her. You look tired, she says. So do you. She hesitates. Can we talk privately? This is private. She walks closer and lowers her voice. I shouldn't be here. Then why are you? Her hands tremble slightly as she places a folder on my desk. What is this? I ask. I didn't give it to you, she says quickly. You found it. I open the folder. Board agenda. Emergency vote. Leadership restructuring. My name is listed under removal. Chief Strategy Officer. Termination pending approval. Signed. By Isabella Carter. My chest tightens. When? Tomorrow morning, Olivia whispers. I stare at the signature. Her handwriting. Clean. Sure. Certain. Who else knows? The board. Victor. Legal. And you. She nods. I process documents. I see everything. Why tell me? Her eyes shine with guilt. Because this isn't right. I close the folder slowly. Is it personal? I don't know, she says. Victor says it's about growth. And Isabella? Olivia hesitates. She said you're resistant. Resistant, I repeat. To change. I laugh softly. It sounds empty. Thank you, I say. She steps back. Be careful. When she leaves, I sit alone with the folder in my hands. 5 years. 5 years of building something from nothing. And she signs me away like I'm an outdated feature. My phone rings. Ethan. Daniel, can we talk? He asks. Now. It's important. Come up. Minutes later, Ethan stands in front of me, nervous energy all over him. You've always been honest with me, he says. So I'll be honest with you. Go on. Victor's been moving shares around. What kind of shares? Quiet transfers. Internal voting power. My jaw tightens. Under whose approval? He swallows. The CEO's. So she knows. Yes. Why are you telling me this? Because you built this place, he says. And everyone knows it. Apparently not everyone. He looks down. They're consolidating control. Control from who? He meets my eyes. You. The word settles like concrete in my chest. Is there more? I ask. There's talk that you're emotional. Unpredictable. Unpredictable? I say calmly. Victor said that in a meeting. And Isabella? She didn't disagree. Silence fills the room. Thank you, Ethan, I say finally. You're not angry? I am, I reply. I'm just thinking. After he leaves, I walk straight to Isabella's office. She's alone. Close the door, I say. She studies my face. What happened? I drop the folder on her desk. She doesn't flinch. You found out, she says quietly. So it's true. It's business. There it is again. She stands up slowly. Daniel, this is about scalability. The board wants sharper leadership. And I'm dull? You're cautious. That kept us alive. It also keeps us small. I stare at her. You're removing me. I'm restructuring. You signed it? Yes. The word echoes in my head. Why didn't you tell me? I ask. Because you would have reacted exactly like this. Like what? Hurt. Defensive. I deserve transparency. You deserve honesty, she says. And the truth is you're holding us back. I feel something inside me crack. I wrote the system this company runs on. And I built the brand that sells it. So I'm replaceable? Technically, she says. Yes. I step back like she slapped me. You don't mean that. I do. After everything? She folds her arms. You chose to stay behind the scenes. Because I trusted you. And I trusted you to know your role. My voice drops. My role? You're brilliant at creating. But leadership requires presence. I've been present since day one. Not in the way that matters. I shake my head slowly. So this is it? It's evolution. No, I whisper. It's betrayal. She exhales. Don't dramatize it. You're erasing me. I'm protecting the company. From me? From stagnation. Silence stretches between us. Did you ever plan to tell me? I ask. Yes, she says. After the vote. After I was already gone. She doesn't answer. I laugh once, bitter. You really thought I wouldn't fight back? Her eyes narrow. Fight back. You think I'm just going to accept this? You don't have leverage, she says coolly. That sentence lands differently. No leverage. I look at her desk, at the awards behind her, at the skyline beyond the glass. I gave you everything, I say. You gave the company something, she corrects. And you gave me what? She hesitates, just for a second. Opportunity. That's when something inside me goes still. Not rage. Not heartbreak. Clarity. You're making a mistake, I say quietly. No, she replies. I'm making a decision. I pick up the folder. Then tomorrow, I tell her, we'll see who really understands power. I walk out before she can answer. In the hallway I stop. No leverage. She really believes that. And for the first time since this started, I stop feeling hurt. I start feeling awake. I don't go home that night. I sit alone in my office, lights off, city glowing through the glass. No leverage, I whisper. I open my laptop and pull up the original contracts. 5 years ago, when we were desperate for funding, I insisted on one thing. Intellectual property ownership. The core algorithm. My name. Personal license granted to the company. Revocable under breach or executive removal. I stare at the clause. If the creator is forcibly removed from strategic control, license terms may be re-evaluated. I lean back slowly. Isabella, I say under my breath, you forgot something. My phone rings. Marcus. You sound different, he says the moment I answer. I just read something interesting. Good interesting or burn the world interesting? Depends who you ask. Talk to me. She's removing me tomorrow. I know. You knew. Board gossip travels fast. I pause. I still own the core algorithm. Silence. Legally? Marcus asks carefully. Yes. And they can't operate without it? Not without renegotiation. Marcus exhales slowly. So what are you going to do? I close my eyes. Part of me wants to shut it down. Let everything collapse. And the other part? Still loves her. That part will get you destroyed, he says. I don't want revenge. Then what do you want? I want respect. Marcus is quiet for a moment. Then don't destroy the company. Take back control. It's not that simple. It is, he says. She played power games. Play better. After we hang up, I open the system architecture panel. Hidden beneath the surface code is something only I understand. Fail-safe protocols. Security layers tied directly to licensing authentication. I built them in case investors tried to push me out one day. I never thought I'd need protection from my own wife. My phone buzzes again. Isabella. Where are you? At the office. We need to talk. We already did. Don't do anything stupid. I smile faintly. Too late. Minutes later, she walks into my office without knocking. You're still here, she says. So are you. She crosses her arms. Olivia told me you saw the documents. She shouldn't have had to. It was going to happen regardless. Without warning? You would have fought it. I will fight it. She studies my screen. What are you doing? Reviewing assets. Daniel, she says carefully, don't escalate this. You already escalated it. It's a restructuring. It's a removal. She steps closer. You're emotional right now. Am I? I turn the laptop toward her. Do you remember this clause? She reads quickly. Her expression shifts. You wouldn't, she says. I would. That would destroy investor trust. So would internal betrayal. You're threatening the company. No, I reply calmly. I'm protecting my work. She shakes her head. This is exactly why the board worries. Because I defend myself? Because you don't see the bigger picture. I see it clearly, I say. You think power means control. It does. No, I whisper. Power means leverage. She looks at me differently now. How long have you been planning this? She asks. Since the day we signed our first contract. You never told me. You never asked. Silence fills the room. Daniel, she says more softly, if you pull the license, everything collapses. I know. Employees lose jobs. Investors panic. I know. Then don't. I stand up slowly. Why shouldn't I? Because we built this together. You signed me away. It was strategic. It was betrayal. She looks away for a moment. You're forcing me into a corner, she says. You put me there. She meets my eyes again. What do you want? I don't answer immediately. I think about the nights we stayed awake building dreams. I think about the stage last night. About her voice thanking everyone but me. I want acknowledgement, I say finally. I want partnership. Not a title you can erase. That's not how boards work. Then maybe boards need reminding. She exhales sharply. If you do this, there's no going back. There wasn't when you signed that paper. We stand there, inches apart, years of love hanging between us like fragile glass. You're not this ruthless, she says quietly. No, I reply. I'm just done being silent. Her eyes soften for a second. You're making a mistake. Maybe, I say. But it's my mistake to make. She turns to leave, then pauses. You think you wrote the rules, she says. I did. She shakes her head. Winning isn't about rules. I sit back down. No, I say softly. It's about remembering who created them. When she walks out, I don't feel hurt anymore. I feel steady. Tomorrow they plan to remove me. Tomorrow they'll learn something. I remember exactly who I am. The boardroom feels colder than usual. Long glass table. 12 seats. 12 faces pretending this is routine. Isabella sits at the head. Victor beside her. I sit halfway down the table, hands folded, calm. Let's begin, Isabella says. Victor clears his throat. Today's agenda includes leadership restructuring for future scalability. Scalability. Such a clean word for betrayal. A board member, Mr. Halpern, looks at me. Daniel, you've seen the proposal? I have. And you understand why it's necessary? I understand why it's convenient, I reply. Victor smiles thinly. This isn't personal. It never is, I say. Isabella avoids my eyes. We're voting on removing the Chief Strategy Officer position and reallocating authority directly under the CEO. Removing me. Any final comments? Halpern asks. I stand slowly. For 5 years, I built the system this company runs on. Victor interrupts. No one denies your contribution. I'm not finished, I say, and he actually stops talking. I look around the table. The core algorithm. The security infrastructure. The licensing structure. That was me. We appreciate that, Isabella says, controlled. Do you? I ask her. She doesn't answer. Halpern adjusts his glasses. Daniel, this is about future growth. I agree, I say calmly. Growth requires stability. Victor sighs. Are we going in circles? No, I reply. We're about to go somewhere new. I reach into my briefcase and place a document on the table. What's this? Victor asks. Licensing agreement, I say. Isabella's jaw tightens. Halpern reads quickly. This states the company operates under a renewable intellectual property license. Owned by you? Yes. That was disclosed years ago, Victor snaps. It's symbolic. Is it? I ask. I tap the second page. Clause 7b. In the event of forced executive removal of the creator, the license enters immediate review. Silence. Halpern looks up slowly. Review meaning? Meaning the system cannot legally operate without my authorization. Victor leans forward. You wouldn't dare. I meet his eyes. Try me. Isabella finally speaks. Daniel, sit down. I am standing, I say evenly, because you tried to erase me. This is blackmail, Victor says sharply. No, I reply. This is leverage. Halpern clears his throat. If what you're saying is accurate, the company would be exposed. Correct. Isabella turns to me. You're threatening your own creation. You already did. This is reckless. No, I say quietly. Reckless was assuming I had no power. Victor slams his pen on the table. The investors will destroy you. I doubt that, I answer. Investors prefer stability. Lawsuits aren't stable. A younger board member whispers, is he serious? I'm very serious, I say. Isabella stands. Everyone give us a moment. No, Halpern says firmly. This concerns the board. She looks furious but sits back down. What do you want? Halpern asks me directly. Fairness. Respect. But I choose my words carefully. I want the restructuring proposal withdrawn, I say. And my position secured contractually. Victor laughs. Unbelievable. You pushed first, I remind him. Halpern looks at Isabella. Did you know about this clause? She hesitates. It was drafted early on. That's not an answer, he says. Yes, she admits. I knew. And you proceeded anyway? Halpern asks. She straightens. I didn't think he would weaponize it. Weaponize? I feel something twist inside me. You didn't think I'd defend myself, I correct. Victor turns to the board. We can negotiate around this. Can you? I ask. Because the servers authenticate license validity nightly. The room goes quiet again. You built a kill switch? Victor demands. I built protection. Isabella stares at me like I'm a stranger. You planned this, she says. I prepared, I reply. Halpern rubs his temples. If the license expires, operations halt? Yes. And renewal requires your signature? Yes. Victor leans toward Isabella. Call his bluff. I look at him. You first. Isabella's voice drops. Daniel, don't do this. You already did. She holds my gaze for a long moment. What happens if we withdraw the vote? Halpern asks. The license continues uninterrupted, I say. And if we proceed? It expires at midnight. Victor stands abruptly. This is extortion. No, I answer calmly. This is consequence. The board members exchange looks. Halpern finally speaks. Given the legal exposure, I recommend postponing this vote pending contract review. Victor shakes his head. You're letting him control us. Halpern looks at him sharply. We control risk. This is risk. Isabella doesn't speak. Vote postponed, Halpern declares. Just like that. Power shifts. Victor glares at me. You think you've won? I meet his stare. No. I remembered. The board begins to file out. Isabella stays seated. When we're alone, she finally says, You humiliated me. You tried to erase me. You blindsided the board. You blindsided your husband. Her voice softens barely. You've changed. No, I say quietly. I stopped pretending. She stands slowly. This isn't over. I know. She walks toward the door, then pauses. You're good at building things, Daniel, she says, echoing her words from the party. But I'm the one who knows how to win. I look at her steadily. Winning, I reply, requires knowing the rules. She leaves without answering. I sit alone in the boardroom. For the first time in years, I don't feel invisible. I feel powerful. And they finally see me. The morning news hits like a hammer. Investors are calling nonstop. Stocks have dropped. Rumors about internal instability are everywhere. Victor storms into my office, face red. You've ruined everything. I protected my work, I say calmly. Protected? You've destabilized her. She destabilized us first, I reply. He slams his fist on the desk. Isabella will fire you. I don't think she can, I say, leaning back. Legally, she can't touch the algorithm without my authorization. Victor glares, but he doesn't respond. Olivia walks in, eyes downcast. Daniel, I'm resigning. Why? She hesitates. I can't work in a place where loyalty is negotiable. I understand, I say. Thank you for being honest. She nods and leaves quietly. I sit alone, thinking about the first time I saw Isabella on the podium, glowing. Then she's here. She opens the office door without knocking. Daniel, we need to talk. I don't look up. We always do. I didn't expect this to spiral, she says softly. The board, the investors. I warned you, I say. She sighs. I never wanted this. Then why? I ask, finally looking at her. She steps closer. Victor convinced me you were holding us back. That you couldn't adapt. And you believed him? I was scared. We've grown too fast. I didn't know how to handle it. I feel a twinge of sympathy, but I push it down. You signed papers to remove me, I say softly. Do you know what that feels like? She looks down. I thought it was necessary. I thought I was protecting the company. By betraying me? I didn't know another way. I shake my head. You made a choice. Consequences follow. Her lips tremble. I know. Do you? I ask. Her phone buzzes. She checks it and stiffens. Victor, he's asking for a meeting. Now. I glance at her. He's your puppet master, isn't he? Her face tightens. He's complicated. I smile faintly. Complicated enough to take you down, apparently? She turns away, voice quieter. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. That's why you needed me, I say. I didn't realize I was weak, she whispers. You are, I say calmly. But you still have time to fix it. For the company. Not for us. She nods slowly. I can't undo the damage. Maybe not, I reply. But the world still watches. The investors still judge. And the board still listens. She turns back to me. And you? I've learned who I am, I say. And what I'm willing to defend. She studies me, searching my expression. You've changed. I stop being silent, I answer. For the first time, I see fear flicker in her eyes. Victor storms in and she stiffens. He glares at me. This isn't over, he says. It is, I reply. Legally, practically, and emotionally. Isabella swallows hard. We've built something incredible. Yes, I say. And you almost destroyed it. Victor glares again but leaves, muttering. She sits down, hands trembling slightly. I don't know what to do now. You wait, I say softly. Watch. Learn. Accept that power isn't just about titles. Her eyes glisten. I forgot what it feels like to be human. And that's why this matters, I say. She nods silently. I feel no joy in her fear. Only clarity. The cracks in her empire are spreading. And for the first time, I know I am standing on solid ground. The woman who once held all the power is starting to realize she doesn't. I look at her, voice calm. You're not invincible, Isabella. Not to me. Not to the world. She exhales slowly. No, I'm not. And for the first time, I don't feel like her husband. I feel like her equal. And that changes everything. It starts with a message from Ethan. Meet me. Urgent. Alone. I leave the office and find him at a quiet cafe nearby. His hands shake slightly as he slides a folder across the table. What is this? I ask. Proof, he says. Victor manipulated everything. Financial projections. Board approvals. He pressured Isabella. I stare at the documents. Numbers twisted, emails forged, votes coerced. Victor had been playing puppet master and Isabella was just caught. Why didn't you tell me sooner? I ask. Because you needed to see for yourself, he says. She's not entirely to blame. Not entirely? I repeat. She's human, he says. Fear. Ambition. Pride. Victor exploited it. I lean back in my chair, mind racing. So she signed my removal knowing the board would support it? Yes. But she didn't realize the legal leverage you still held. I exhale slowly. She's guilty, but she's also a victim. Ethan nods. Exactly. Back at the office, I find Isabella alone. She's staring at her reflection in the glass wall, tense, quiet. We need to talk, I say. She doesn't turn. I know, she whispers. I know about Victor, I say softly. She flinches. You do? Yes. All of it. The manipulation. The pressure. The threats. The numbers that don't add up. She finally faces me. You, how? I have sources. Ethan. Olivia. And my instincts. You didn't hate me? She asks quietly. I was furious, I reply. But hate isn't useful right now. She swallows. I thought I was protecting the company. You were protecting her ego, I correct gently. Not the company. Tears well in her eyes. I didn't know how else to act. I understand now, I say. But it doesn't change the fact that you betrayed me. I didn't mean to, she whispers. I step closer. You still have power. But you almost destroyed everything. Including us. She nods, voice barely audible. Victor, he lied. He made me doubt you. And you believed him, I say calmly. Why? I was afraid, she admits. Afraid I'd fail without control. Afraid I'd lose everything. And yet you tried to remove me, I murmur. Yes, she says, tears sliding down her cheeks. And I thought it was right. I study her. Vulnerable, human. The woman I married, flawed and scared. The woman I had trusted with everything. And Victor? I ask. He's exposed, she says. Ethan has the evidence. The board knows. He resigns tomorrow. I nod. Karma comes naturally, it seems. Does this change anything? She asks. I pause. It changes everything. You understand your mistake. That's something. But it doesn't undo the past. She swallows hard. Will you forgive me? I don't know, I say honestly. Right now, I need to reclaim myself. Daniel, she whispers. I was scared and I forgot who I was. Who we were. And I was betrayed, I say softly. But understanding doesn't mean forgetting. She looks at me, pain and shame mixing in her expression. I deserve that. You do, I reply. For the first time, I see her not as my enemy, but as a mirror of human weakness. Ambition tangled with fear, pride entangled with insecurity. You almost lost everything, I say. Yes, she whispers. And yet, I continue, you still have a chance to make it right. She nods. I will try. I turn toward the door. Try. That's all you can do. Just, don't make the same mistakes. She watches me go silent. Victor may have been her architect of betrayal, but the weight of responsibility now rests squarely on her shoulders. And for the first time, I feel the lines of power and consequence clearly. I don't feel revenge. I feel justice in its purest form, natural, inevitable, and unhurried. The cracks in her empire were never about her incompetence. They were about the choices she made, and the truth she refused to see. And now that truth is finally out. The boardroom is packed again, but this time the atmosphere is different. Victor sits stiffly, papers scattered before him. The tension is thick, almost electric. Isabella stands at the head of the table, her posture perfect, but there's a flicker of uncertainty in her eyes. Before we begin, I say, voice steady, I want to clarify a few things. All eyes turn to me. Victor's lips tighten. Isabella swallows. I own the core algorithm. The licensing clause is enforceable. Any attempt to remove me without compliance will halt operations. Silence. Halpern leans forward. We're aware. You've made your point clear. Good, I reply. Because there's more. I slide the folder across the table. Evidence of manipulation. Emails, altered financials, and pressure campaigns. All led by Victor Lang. Victor's face drains of color. Isabella exhales sharply. Daniel? You know it's true, I continue. The board knows it's true. Victor glares, standing abruptly. This is a setup. The setup, I say evenly, was your own arrogance. One by one, board members shuffle papers, whispering, reviewing evidence. Isabella steps closer. Daniel, we can handle this internally. No need to escalate. I already did, I say. By defending what's mine, and by defending the integrity of this company. Halpern finally speaks. Victor, given the evidence, we need a resolution. Your position is untenable. Victor sputters. You can't. You tried to remove me without justification, I say. This is the consequence. Isabella's voice is quiet, almost reflective. I see now. I was too quick to trust his influence. And yet, I say calmly, you almost erased me. She nods, eyes down. I was wrong. Victor storms out, muttering threats, but no one follows. He's alone now, exposed. I turn to Isabella. Do you understand what this means? Yes, she whispers. You've won. I didn't want to win like this, I say. I wanted acknowledgement. Partnership. She meets my eyes. You have it. I see it now. I study her, noting the subtle shift, the fear, the humility, the recognition. Daniel, she begins, voice trembling. I misused my power. I see that. I don't want to lose you or us. I nod slowly. This isn't about us anymore. It's about the company, and the consequences of choices. She swallows. I understand. I lean back, letting the silence stretch. The air is heavy, charged, but clean. Halpern clears his throat. Daniel, with this clarity, what is your recommendation? I glance at Isabella. We rebuild, together, but with transparency. Roles clear, responsibilities honored. And Victor? Let the board decide, but he can no longer influence our decisions. Isabella nods. Agreed. The board murmurs in agreement. I feel a strange weight lift from my chest. The power shift isn't about domination anymore. It's about recognition and balance. I glance at Isabella again. She's no longer the untouchable CEO on a pedestal. She's human. Flawed. Learning. And Daniel, she says quietly, thank you. Not just for this, but for trusting me enough to fight. I nod. Trust isn't given lightly, Isabella. It's earned every day. The meeting adjourns. People leave. Papers shuffle. Phones buzz. But the room feels different now. I remain looking at the skyline. The city lights shimmer like possibilities. For the first time, I feel like I'm standing on solid ground, not behind her, not beside her, but in my own right. Isabella steps beside me. You remember who you are, she says softly. I do, I reply. And I need to remember too, she whispers. I smile faintly. Then let's start rebuilding. Together, but honestly this time. She nods. Together. For the first time in years, I don't feel invisible. I feel acknowledged. And that acknowledgement is everything. The office is quiet now. Fewer people, fewer distractions. The chaos of betrayal, threats, and power plays has faded. I sit at my desk, hands folded, looking at the skyline. The city stretches endlessly, lights flickering like reminders of what's possible. Isabella approaches, quiet. She doesn't speak at first, just watches. She begins, then stops. I look at her. Yes. I'm sorry, she whispers. For everything. For almost losing sight of what matters. For almost losing us. I exhale slowly. We almost lost ourselves, yes. But we didn't. And that counts for something. She nods. Victor, he resigned. The board accepted it. Everything is stable again. I smile faintly. Justice served without me needing to destroy anything. She sits across from me. I realize now that I underestimated you. Not just your skills but your integrity. You never sought attention, but you always held the foundation. And you almost forgot that, I reply softly. Leadership isn't just about titles. It's about understanding who holds what power, and respecting it. She laughs quietly, a little bitter, a little relieved. I learned that the hard way. I nod. We both did. She leans back, eyes reflective. Can we move forward? No secrets, no games? I study her. The same Isabella, ambitious, brilliant, but human. She made mistakes, but she's willing to face them. Yes, I say. We move forward. Honestly. Her smile is small, tentative, but genuine. Together? Together, I affirm. The weight I've carried for months, anger, betrayal, uncertainty, begins to lift. Not because the fight is over, but because acknowledgement has replaced resentment. I glance at my desk, the code, the contracts, the memories of late nights and endless effort. Everything I built, everything I fought for, it's recognized now. And Daniel? Isabella says softly, breaking the quiet. Yes. I trust you again. That's all I needed to hear. Not an apology, not admiration, just trust. I nod slowly. Then we begin again. The city stretches outside the window. Lights flicker, opportunities shimmer. I feel calm, steady, alive. The storm of betrayal, manipulation, and ambition has passed. And what remains is clarity, partnership, and the quiet satisfaction of reclaiming my place, not behind the throne, not beside it, but where I've always belonged, at the foundation, unshakable. Isabella stands, a hand on my shoulder. Let's make sure nothing like this ever happens again. I smile. Agreed. We leave the office together, side by side, not as CEO and subordinate, not as husband and wife, but as equals, aware of mistakes, aware of power, and ready to rebuild stronger than before. For the first time in years, I feel truly whole. And the future, unpredictable as it is, finally feels like ours.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.